Hi guys. So for today, what I'm going to do is go over your word jobs paper with you on a little whiteboard that I got. It's just a little tiny one, so I can only do one sentence at a time. So I'm going to do one sentence at a time and then pause it and then erase it and put another sentence up and then come back. It won't really feel like anything to you. You'll be able to tell that I paused it. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to pause me and then do the first sentence and then come back and check it and then pause me again and do the second sentence and come back and check it again and keep doing that each time so that you can see how to do each one. I don't want you to do all of the sentences first because I think it'll be better if you can do one sentence at a time and then practice it. All right. So let's give this a try. So here's my first sentence. So go do that sentence, put me on pause, go do that sentence, and then come back. All right, so I'm assuming by the time that you see this now that you've already done the sentence. So now if you haven't done the sentence a little bit, you're cheating, which that's okay if you want to do that, but you know what I always say, when you cheat yourself. So what I wanted you to do was practice it first, but here we go. So the first thing we always look for is the verb. So I'm going to look for an action word or I'm going to look for a state of being word. Miss Totsie teaches Mandarin with Miss Lee. Are there any action words in there? The first action word I see is teaches. I'm going to mark that as the verb. Teaches is my verb. Now I ask myself, who or what teaches? Oh, all right. Miss Totsie's the one doing the teaching. So Miss Totsie is going to be my subject. After I have the subject and the verb, then I want to find the rest of the nouns in my sentence. So now I'm going to go through and find nouns. Well, Miss Totsie is a noun because she's a person. Mandarin is a noun because it's a subject. And Miss Lee is a noun because she's a person. So those are all my nouns. Great. Now, I don't have anything with. So I wonder if you guys can remember what with is. I'll give you a minute to think. Hopefully you remembered that it's a preposition and that this is the prepositional phrase. With Miss Lee. The baby sentence, that's one where we have just the subject and the verb, is this right here. Miss Totsie teaches. These other words are additional words. All right, so now pause it again and do your next sentence. And when you come back, I'll be ready to teach you the next one. I'm going to pause it as well and put up the next sentence on my end. Okay, welcome back. And now we're going to do this next sentence. Oh, now I understand grammar. You see, I have my best teacher thing up here. My dogs, I hear them coming in. You're going to probably hear them come racing upstairs in a minute, but let's go ahead and get this done. All right, so the first thing I want to look for is a verb. I'm looking for an action word or a state of being verb. I don't see, oh, now I understand grammar. I don't see any being verbs, but I do see one action word. Do you see the action word? It's understand. Now, who or what is doing the understanding in this sentence? That's right, I. I am doing the understanding. So I is the subject. So again, baby sentence, I understand. That's our baby sentence, right? Okay, now the next thing I want to do is mark up other words. So I'm going to look next for nouns. Let's see where nouns are. Grammar's a noun. Oh, hello, Sadie. Hello. Oh, hello. Did you have a nice walk? Okay, hop down. Grammar's a noun. Is I a noun? The answer is no. I is not a noun. I is a pronoun. It's taking the place of the noun. I could put my name here. Oh, now Linda understands grammar. But I didn't put my name there. Instead, I put a pronoun to replace the noun. Make sure you know that pronouns replace nouns. That sound is one of my dogs drinking some water, if you can hear it. Pronouns replace nouns. A word cannot be a pronoun and a noun because pronouns replace nouns. All right, so now I know what my pronouns are. How about my adjectives? Any adjectives? No, I don't see any. How about adverbs? Oh, I do see an adverb. This word is an adverb, and here's the reason why. Now tells me when. Anything that answers the question when is an adverb because adverbs tell us how, when, where, to what extent. Since it says when, then I know it's an adverb. It tells me when I am understanding. It describes the verb. It tells me when I am understanding. I'm doing it now. And then finally, the word oh, hopefully you remembered that that's an interjection. And then think about the interjection song. All right, so that's the end of that sentence. Hopefully you got that one right. I'm going to pause. I'm going to change it to a new sentence. You pause and you go take care of doing the next sentence and then come back and check your work with me. Okay, I'm back. And now I'm going to do the next sentence, which is computers are very frustrating. Some of you may be finding that right now as you're trying to do all this work at home, that your computer is very frustrating to you. Most adults feel that way. I know I often feel like picking up my computer and throwing it against the wall. So let's do the next sentence. Computers are very frustrating. First, I'm looking for the verb. Looking for the verb. Now, remember we're looking for an action word or a state of being word. Are there any action words in this sentence? I hope you didn't say frustrating, because frustrating is not an action. I can't frustrate. I can feel frustrated. But in that sentence, feeling is the verb, not frustrate. So frustrate is not the verb. We only have a being verb in this sentence, and it's are. Now I'm going to ask myself, who or what are? Oh, computers. Computers are. All right, great. So as you can see now, that's my baby sentence. Computers are. The rest of the words in my sentence are going to be helping me talk about computers are. All right. Now, let's look next for nouns. Do we have any nouns? Yep, we do. Computer is a noun. Are there any other nouns? No, no other nouns. Any pronouns? Words that replace nouns? Nope, no pronouns. How about adjectives? Are there any adjectives? Yeah, frustrating is an adjective. It's describing um, the computer. Sorry, I had to pause for a moment because I had an interruption. Frustrating is describing computer. It's saying something about the computer. What kind of a computer? A frustrating computer. It's telling me that about computers. And then what is very telling me? Did you figure that one out? Very is describing frustrating. It's telling me to what extent is it frustrating? And what kind of word tells us to what extent? An adverb. So there's our words for this sentence. All right, pause your computer and come back in a few minutes after you do the next sentence. Okay, we're back. And we're going to do the next sentence, which is the girls in our class are writing on the board. So I hope you've already done this sentence. And here we go, correcting it. First, we're looking for the verb, as always. So we're looking for an action word or a being verb. So let's take a look. The girls in our class are writing on the board. Well, I see an action verb right here, but I also see a being verb. When we have an action verb and a being verb together, we call this the helping verb because it's helping the action verb. It's still a being verb, but now it's doing the action of helping. So our writing is our verb in this sentence. Who or what are writing? Now don't be tricked. Don't say the class is writing on the board because the class isn't doing the writing. Who's actually doing the writing? The girls are doing the writing. That's our baby sentence. The girls are writing. And now we're going to find out more information about the girls who are writing. Now, if you thought that it was going to be class, then I want to point something out to you. I want to point out that this is a prepositional phrase. How do I know? Because the first word in it is a preposition. In our class is the prepositional phrase. The subject of the sentence can never be found in the prepositional phrase. So some people like to find prepositional phrases first and put brackets or parentheses around them so that they don't accidentally choose the subject from a prepositional phrase. I actually think that might be a good idea for us. I think we might do that from now on. So we found this prepositional phrase. We know that the subject can never be in a prepositional phrase. It's always an independent word. Girls are writing. Let's go back and find out some other things about our sentence now. Let's find all the nouns in our sentence next. Well, we know girls is a noun. Oh, I know class is a noun. And I know board is a noun. Good. Make sure I make that look like an N. So all of those words are nouns. Do you see another prepositional phrase? Because I do. It's this one right here on the board. So if it's a prepositional phrase, we know it starts with a preposition. That's why it's called a prepositional phrase. It starts with a preposition and it has a noun or a pronoun at the end of it. So what is the word in between the preposition and the noun? Well, in this case, our is a pronoun. It's replacing our names. And in this case, it's an article. And also, I have an article here. The is an article. Hopefully you remember that the articles are a, an, and the. Those are the articles. Our is also something else in addition to being a pronoun. I wonder if any of you got this. Our tells whose class. So it's also an adjective because it's telling whose class, our class. We already know that articles are also a form of an adjective, but we don't usually mark them. You can if you want. You can draw the arrow if you want to, but we don't usually. And now we are finished with this sentence. Hopefully you got that one and did it well. Hopefully you found most of everything in there. We're ready to do the next sentence. So pause your video and come back after you have completed the next sentence. All right, I'm ready to do the next sentence, and I hope you are too. I wonder if your parents are nearby and if they are learning some things, because I bet they are surprised how smart you are about your grammar. So here we go with the next sentence. Excuse me, I'm going to cough for a second. Sorry, I don't have the virus. Don't worry. It's just my allergies. All right, so here we go. Next sentence. Whoa, here we go. Shh, you should talk quietly in the library. All right, first thing we're looking for, say it out loud. I hope you said verb. We're looking for an action word or a being verb. So let's look and see if we see any action or being verbs. Shh, you should talk quietly in the library. Well, I see talk. That's definitely a being verb. And then I'm sorry, that's an action verb. That was a mistake. That's an action verb. Talk is something I can do with my body, with my mouth. Should is also a verb. It's a being verb. When I have a being verb plus an action verb, the being verb is called a helping verb. Still a being verb, but now it's doing the action of helping the action verb. It's helping the verb talk. You should talk quietly in the library. Why do I need it? Well, because I wouldn't say you talk quietly in the library because that sounds like a statement. It doesn't sound like a command. This is a command. You should talk quietly in the library. But if I take out the word should, it's just a statement. You talk quietly in the library. And it might not even be a true statement. Maybe you're a big mouth and you're talking way too loudly in the library. So that's why I need should helping my verb there. Now I want to find out who should talk. So I ask myself, who or what should talk? And the answer is you. So you is my subject. And so this is my baby sentence. You should talk. That's the very least I need to make a sentence. Now I'm going to have some more words to make it a more interesting sentence. First thing I want to do is figure out, do I have any nouns in the sentence? Any nouns? Is you a noun? You is not a noun because you is taking the place of a noun. You would have, I would put your name in here. So I'm going to say, shh, Max should stop talking, or should talk quietly in the library. Or shh, Hudson should talk quietly in the library. Or shh, Cushy should talk quietly in the library. Or shh, Maya should talk quietly in the library. You see how I'm putting a name in here whenever I'm doing it? But I took the name out and I'm putting the word you. Or I might say all of your whole class's names if I'm talking to your whole class. All of you should talk quietly in the library. That means this is a pronoun. It's not a noun because a pronoun replaces a noun. Any other nouns in here? Library is definitely a noun. All right, so we already found our pronoun and we already found our noun. Let's look for our adjectives next. Any adjectives? I don't see any. I don't see anything that's describing, that's telling me which one, what kind, how many, how much, or whose. No words that do that. Next, I'm looking for adverbs. And I see one, and it's quietly. Why do I know quietly is an adverb? Describing how you should talk? I just answered my own question. It's how you should talk. You should talk quietly. You should talk how? You should talk quietly. In the library, oh, I just remembered that we were going to do this first. In the library is a prepositional phrase. Hopefully you saw that. It starts with a preposition and it has an article and it ends with our noun, in the library. And then shh is one of our newer words. Hope you remembered that it's an interjection. And that just makes, gives our sentence some extra oomph when we have an interjection in there. All right? So, how are you doing? Is this overwhelming or is it okay? If at any point this is starting to be too much for you, you can stop. You can take a break. You could come back to it tomorrow. You could come back to it later today. We're just going to make our way through the rest of this paper, but it's at your pace. So that's a little bit cool because that's different than in the classroom, isn't it? All right, now I'm going to pause the video so I can put the next sentence up, and you can come back when you're ready. Okay, I'm back. And we'll do the last sentence now, and then we'll be done with this. I don't know if you did it all in one day or if you split it up a little bit. Both ways are totally fine. Getting the practice in is the good part, okay? So now we'll do the last sentence, and it's probably my favorite because it's about me and my two favorite things, hamburgers and cheese. All right, here we go. Miss Gillis loves hamburgers and cheese. A very true statement. All right, first thing we're looking for is the verb. What's the verb in this sentence? An action word or a state of being? Well, verb is loves because that's the action. That's something I can do with my heart, with my feelings. I can love somebody, all right? And then subject is who or what loves? It's Miss Gillis. Miss Gillis loves. Now we know our baby sentence. Miss Gillis loves. And we could put a lot of things over here in the blank. She loves each one of you. She loves hamburgers and cheese. She also loves raspberries. She loves Sadie and Hope. A lot of things. Now we're going to see what the rest of our sentence tells us about Miss Gillis. Okay? So Miss Gillis loves. Next thing we're going to do is look for nouns. Well, Miss Gillis is definitely a noun because she's a person. Hamburgers is a noun because it's one of the best foods in the world, so it's a thing. And cheese is a noun, also one of the best foods in the world, also a thing. Really, we've got pretty much the whole sentence wrapped up except this one word. I wonder if you remembered what that word is. Did you think it was an article? Because articles are a, an, and the. So I hope you didn't think it was an article because it's not one of those. It's close. I know that. I know some of you might have seen these letters and thought it was the same thing, but it's not. I'll give you a hint over here on the side. It's one of the fanboys. That's what this word is. It's the second fanboy, which is and. And hopefully you remember that these are all conjunctions from the work that you've done earlier this week and that we did before break. And so now you have finished your whole sheet. You have finished all of your sentences, and I wonder how well you did. I would love for you to send me some kind of a message. You can send me an email, you can send me something on Parent Square, or you can send me a chat, any of those, and just tell me how you did on this word jobs paper. Did you understand it? Did you have questions? Were you successful? Anything you want to tell me would be great, okay? All right. Love you guys. Miss you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.